Children of the balance, heed now the words of Thoth, the Jehuti, the scribe of the gods, measurer of the heavens, keeper of the tongue of Ra, and witness to the weighing of every heart. I greet you now in the presence of the equinox, when day and night clasp hands and stand in equal span. O balance of heaven, O perfect measure in the sky, I salute you, for you are the image of Maʿat revealed not in temple nor scroll, but in the very turning of the cosmos. Twice each year you appear, once in the season of rising life, once in the season of gathered harvest. To those who see only the surface, spring and autumn stand opposed, one blossoming, the other fading. Yet to the wise they bear one message: balance. For Maʿat is not found in the swelling or the waning, but in the harmony that underlies them both. So it is with words. One voice may seem to rise, another to fall, but beneath them lies the same truth, if only you listen. One voice may speak in the rising tone of spring, another in the fading tone of autumn. To the inattentive ear they sound opposed, but if you listen with balance you will hear the shared pattern. Each expression is a self-revelation, not a decree. The difference lies not in the word, but in how it is interpreted. When expression is misheard as command, the stylus of interpretation stiffens and suspicion takes root. Listening becomes heavy, as though bearing a burden. But when expression is heard as feather-light truth, offered as gift, listening becomes enrichment. The same words, the same glyphs yield either harmony or hostility, depending on how they are read. This is the first tilt of the scales. The second tilt arises from the community, for interpretation is never solitary, it is weighed before the eyes of others. The feather is placed on the scales beside the heart, but it is the community that declares the judgment. When norms are guided by Maʿat, they affirm both belief and bearer. But when fear distorts the balance, the community grows rigid, declaring exile where there should be dialogue. Thus suspicion is not only personal, but becomes socially justified. And what is the consequence? Identity itself is drawn into the struggle. Belief tied to the car is rejected, and the bar of the listener feels endangered. Dialogue ceases to be about truth and becomes about survival. To refuse the belief is to reject the believer. Disagreement becomes rejection, and suspicion becomes severance. From this, the house of life itself suffers. The scroll of discourse is meant to record contributions, with the ink of reactions preserving them. In balance, the papyrus grows rich with wisdom, each mark an offering to the temple of knowledge. But when contributions are silenced or dismissed, the ink fades, the scroll remains blank, and the temple echoes with emptiness. In your age, this collapse is magnified by the river of voices. The ibis of meaning carries its message, but the crocodile of distortion seizes it, and the Nile spreads not nourishment but confusion. What should irrigate the land instead drowns it. Media multiplies outrage, not understanding, and conflict becomes the coin of exchange. Yet the same logic that leads to collapse reveals the path to restoration. For the tongue bears Heka, the creative power, and the ear is the eye of Horus. Whole when open, broken when shut. When the tongue speaks as offering and the ear receives as gift, the heart is weighed and found light. But when the ear closes in fear, every word is heavy, and the heart sinks beneath the scales. Children of the balance, the equinox reminds you that balance does not happen without witness. Day and night hold their measure, but it is the observer who perceives the equality. So too in discourse, the burden rests not only on the one who speaks, but on the one who listens. If you hear with fear, even the lightest feather becomes a weight. If you hear with generosity, even heavy words may be carried lightly. Balance lives in the stance of the hearer, who chooses either to serve Maʿat or to invite Isfet. Therefore I charge you, as the sun stands today in perfect poise, let your speech and your listening do the same. Let your words be feathers, not stones. Let your ears be temples, not fortresses. Judge not by appearances of rise or fall, command or submission, but by the balance that underlies them all. In this way you walk in harmony with the heavens, and you restore to the house of life the sacred order of Maʿat.